About myself, here's one part of me that actually encapsulates where I work on myself along the lines of the man himself, Leonardo da Vinci. Be prim and proper, be respectful to others, don't hang out with the shit. There's always guys that deny they're of the shit, they're in reality full of shit. And believe it or not, he was still alive during when I was growing up. Flat out miserable. You try to get better. The times where you were miserable were the times where you had long hair. And those were the times where you're yourself. A lot more than when you had shorter hair. That's what the man told me. Mr. Da Vinci. So what do I do now? I usually wear these clothes. I usually tease my hair, obsessively making it longer now. And try also making these eyebrows a lot more exotic and round to kind of resemble more of the Frank, which relates to the Northern Italian in me. A westward Iranian has no time for Iran. That's why I'm basically reminiscing, recalling, and ruminating very heavily. As much as I used to ruminate on lyrics from Biohazard, believe it or not, and was busy basically killing off brats with a baseball bat when I was real young. Well, that's basically the larger side to me that, you know, you wish to forget, you wish to repress. It usually ends up as subconscious blocks until it hits you like a truck, and basically much like puberty, unless you dare to recall very heavily. And you're basically constantly told this as a life story. Society is a menace to you. What's the take from that? That in of itself. In what ways does the uber-mention of masculinity tend to very much segregate itself from the masses, tends to alienate the public? In what ways do even alpha males tend to be very much despicable oriented very heavily? And in what ways does calling out someone relate to not really being a perspective and a point of view? It usually relates to this. At the end of the day, I separate myself from even my family. Even as I kind of deal with family work and family matters of the state, I apply myself to actually forming perspectives and point of view. It has to be based on various ways of optical illusions, the golden section, and certainly geometry, and basically steps of forming conclusions and points of view, algebra, algebraic expression from algebra, and basically the steps to take to basically undermine those that want to take advantage of you in some way. Fin.